Our third and final module of Foundations Leader Orientation, Welcome to PTA, is where we're going to discuss leadership and membership. Let's listen again to Lisa Holbrook, Texas PTA President.
You've seen and heard a wide variety of information about PTA. You've heard how our association began, how we have prioritized families, education, and advocacy for more than 100 years, and how we support one another through networking, sharing, and training. But perhaps the most important message that we can share about PTA is that we are an association of people. Passionate people, diverse people, caring and committed people. You are the most important resource of this association, and our ability to further our mission rests with the thousands of PTAs across the state. You are a leader, and how you interact with other parents on your campus and manage the business of your own association has a direct impact on our efforts as a whole. A healthy PTA is not about fundraising. A healthy and strong PTA is filled with families and teachers focused on providing programs and support to every child on the campus. Whether it's in the classroom, on the playground, in the cafeteria line, or even at home, you can help us make a difference through PTA.
You and your PTA can achieve all of your PTA's goals through a commitment to quality leadership. Some qualities of effective leaders are they are creative thinkers. They plan ahead and are courageous, risk takers, open-minded and fair, and importantly, they're effective communicators. Let's learn what some of our PTA leaders feel about quality leadership.
I think the most important quality a PTA leader needs is passion for the purposes. Anything else, we can train, we can provide resources, we can support that they might need, but we can't just handle the passion for the purposes. And when you meet those leaders that have that passion, it's contagious on that campus. It's contagious with the other leaders. It's contagious throughout the entire community. And it gets others excited and involved in what's going on and what they're really supposed to be doing as a PTA.
My 10 year of being on council, we mentor a lot of the local units, and if I tell you 99% of the problems go back to lack of communication or miscommunication. So a strong leader really needs to be effective in communicating, and that also requires using technology efficiently to communicate as well. So be clear about what your expectations are. Get back to people within 24 hours, 48 max, but at least reply back to them. Just basic communication. When there's a problem, talk to the person and find out what the problem is and then resolve it.
Communicate the goal. Be able to understand it and communicate it. In our case, our goal is kids. If you are at a meeting with the board and you can't sit there and say, at any point in time, we're doing this for the kids, we're doing this for the school, we're doing this for the community, you aren't doing the right thing. And you've got to be able to effectively communicate that to everyone.
And then having the ability to be impartial, hearing both sides of a story, being able to see the bigger picture, listen to all the ideas that are coming from the various different people that make up the board.
Ask and never assume. Ask your board for their input. Ask your board for their participation. Value their opinion. Also, if you don't know the answer to a question, pick up the phone, write an email, ask.
With a dynamic combination of members and leaders at your PTA, effective teamwork can be the success for your PTA. Successful teams are inclusive and welcoming to members. They seek out other strengths and passion. They have clear goals and expectations and give power to their members through delegation. They encourage and support each other, and they communicate clearly on a regular basis. Let's hear from our experienced leaders on teamwork.
With anything of any size, in any operation, in any association, organization, any system, you have to rely on others. No individual can do it alone. The teamwork component is hugely important because you've got to respect everyone's differences and everyone's skills that they bring to the table. You have to understand that in order to be effective, you need to leverage the best of everyone.
You have to see what everybody's qualities are and build on those qualities. You know, some people are treasurers, some aren't. Some are leaders, some aren't. Some are the followers that want to help and do the work, but they're not going to take that leadership role.
The leaders of the most successful boards or PTAs are the ones that respect and value the input of others. And that's why we encourage using committees and utilizing board members and not just one or two people running the entire show. Because even though leaders may disagree, they can agree to disagree while still respecting each other and valuing the input and opinions of others.
If you don't delegate so that other people take a part in it, then they're going to say, why am I here? Even if you have to ask them 3 times and they only come through once, you still need to ask. Otherwise, it becomes just a clique running everything and nobody wants to get involved.
And I think we need to cut jobs up into small pieces so that people can fit it within their own personal time schedule and the children's time schedule and the TV schedule and all the other schedules we have to compete with.
It was difficult for me because I do work well alone. I don't need a lot of direction. But again, to have the community that you need in a PTA and to build that community, you cannot do it alone.
To be an effective leader and build a winning team, all board members have responsibilities. Board members should set goals through their plans of work. They should regularly review PTA guiding documents for both the executive board and the association, such as financial reports, meeting minutes, bylaws, and standing rules. Board members should attend and participate in all meetings of the PTA. Board members should sign the Ethics and Conflict of Interest Agreement and have an understanding of the role of other board members. They should recruit new board members and leaders, and at the end of their terms, share their experiences with their successors. These best practices will help ensure the success of your PTA. I'm sure you've noticed throughout Foundation's Leader Orientation, the primary purpose of PTA is not to raise funds, but to raise enough funds to accomplish your goals for programs and services throughout the year. Volunteers know the benefits to effective fundraising. Let's hear from some of them.
If you look at the purposes of PTA, there's nothing about dollars and cents. There's nothing about fundraising. And too often, and I was in the same boat when I first started, well, we need to have this much money, but not enough people say why. We need to know, why do we need the money?
The first thing I used to hear when I was a local unit was we're not a fundraising organization. And I'm saying, well, yeah, we are. We're out here doing this all the time. What do you mean by that? And then as I got more involved, I really understood. You know, it's really all about figuring out what we want to do and how to raise the funds in order to do it.
I think it's real important to early on for the PTAs to determine what kind of activities do they want to have for their PTA that will educate their parents, their students, their teachers, and help them out. And then go to, once they determine what they want to program for, then go back and do the fundraising for it.
National PTA has put a standard out there for fundraising. It's called the 3-to-1 rule. And basically, it's there to make sure that we are never considered commercial. And so to keep our non-commercial status, which is a requirement, we recommend 3 programs or projects that address our purposes to every one fundraiser. And that way you keep a healthy balance of what you're really supposed to be doing.
Every one of us lives in a world where money is an imperative. If you think about it, our jobs are a mechanism of fundraising for our families. That's what we do. Some people have one job, some people have multiple jobs. You've got to have it in order to exist. But you don't have to let it be your primary driver.
Texas PTA has even been out there on the forefront talking about family-friendly fundraising. And what that means is don't just hold a fundraiser, do it in a manner that involves the whole family in a healthy environment. Whether it be that school carnival that's a fun thing, or whether it be a 5K where the whole family participates. So we really, it's not that we're against fundraising, but it needs to be done in a manner that supports the purposes and can also include the purposes.
We hope you've seen how PTA affects the lives of children across the state through our programs and services. But for you to be successful, you must have strong membership. Why should people join PTA? Because we have programs that focus on the whole child and connect with families. We show the value of arts and the importance of healthy lifestyles and special education and meeting the needs of every student. And we connect with parents and educators and communities who all have a passion for children. Growing membership should be something that's discussed year-round by the board. Membership is important. Your membership provides influence for advocacy at local, state, and national levels. Membership demonstrates grassroots support of your school and student success. A diverse membership base allows your PTA to better serve families with a diverse voice. Remember, your PTA serves as a front door to our association, and you should seek out families in your school and community to encourage them to join and make a difference in a child's life.
These programs are just a few examples of how your PTA can engage families throughout your community. But for these programs and others to be successful, PTAs must have the support of a strong membership. Sustaining and growing membership must be a priority for every PTA leader involved at any level of PTA. Your PTA serves as the front door of our association, and I'm asking for your help in seeking out each family in your community, personally inviting them to join your PTA and welcoming them into your association. Just as we talked about the financial responsibility of your PTA being shared among the board, growing membership should be something that is discussed year-round by the entire board of directors. Remember that every individual member contributes to your success.
Well, the goals and mission of the association tie to a lot of advocacy. And we say every child, one voice. Well, the louder that voice is, the more opportunity we have to advocate for the kids, for our children, for the children of the state of Texas. And the key to that is being able to, sometimes flash your membership and say, we have X 100,000 members. And the bigger the X is, the bigger the potential impact is that each individual member can make through the association.
We hear people say, and I think we heard it just recently, where people don't want to join because they think they have to volunteer. And so a lot of times at the membership table we'll say, well, you don't have to give your time, we just want your money. Well, no, we don't want your money, we want your voice. We want to be able to speak for you, and we want your opinions, because your opinions count, your parents.
It's not about dues. It's not about the dollars we bring in. It's about the voice we have and the impact that we can have with that voice.
Membership is important because you can't truly be a partner at the table if you don't have the support of your parents and caregivers on your campus. And so for a local PTA or a council PTA to want to be that true education partner with the district, they need to have the membership to back that up so that they have the credibility and then I think responsibility to be at that table and be that partner in the education process.
I hope we've been able to share some of the amazing programs and resources that PTA has to offer, and that you will be able to use this information to create a healthy and vibrant PTA on your campus. I know you've heard it several times already, but I want to say once again that our successes in the classroom and the capital would not be possible without your time, talent, and effort. I hope we'll hear from you when you need guidance or support, but also when you have great success stories to share. We learn from each other every day, so hearing from our volunteers in the field is what allows us to improve and grow. Thank you again for saying yes to PTA, and together we'll make every child's potential a reality.